Hey everybody, this is Dustin, Urban Specialist. So I'm looking at a Grand Design Reflection. I'm not sure what year it is. It's a 303 RLS, and I'm coming over here to take a quick peek. It looks like it's maybe in here for a wheel bearing pack, but it's also got some sumo springs, which is awesome, right? So people are always saying, hey, put them on, don't put them on, right? Well, at least he's got the thicker shackle links. You can see they haven't been being maintained that well because the grease is all dirty and old and doesn't look that fresh. I'm not a big fan of this brand. I love MORryde, but I'm not a big fan of these guys. I've written a few articles, spoke to our reps at different times and said, hey guys, these things only pivot so much, and our roads here in California are rough. And so when they pivot too hard, it tears this metal on these, it just fillets them wide open, and then it usually crushes in here. Then when it does that, it expands the metal housing, and then it causes too much play inside that center bolt, and it just shears that sucker off. So I'm not the only one that's kind of nagged about that. They have changed them, and they have extended the distance, added a second bolt. And I'm not going to pat myself on the back and say it's from me, or maybe it's from other people that we've all complained enough about them, but I won't sell this particular version to somebody if they come in. The ones that we use is the Dexter Easy Flex kit. We've always had good luck with that, never had any issues. Sometimes we'll pull these loose and the bushing up top is completely shot and worn out. And I was looking to see if I could see any cracks on this one. I don't at the moment. But these are only good too for 5 years. And even I didn't know that until I started researching them. So if it's 5 years old, they recommend that you get rid of it. And it's all because of the rubber bushing inside goes bad, and maybe the Teflon pads go bad. But I'm looking underneath here. Oops. This one's got to be one for... So there's a frame crack, right? We'll go find out what year this is. But look at this one's already had the V-braces installed. An earlier version, there's another one, and there's another one, and then it's already had the 2x2 sleeve put on there. But there's another crack right there, and there's probably another one down there somewhere too. So I'm a big fan of sumo springs. This is something that anybody can put these on. These basically have a bolt that just sandwiches on the top of that spring hanger as far as the I can't remember the technical name now. I'm having I don't know what you want to call it, a brain fart, but the saddle. Yep. So it's basically just comes up and zoom back down, comes up and sandwiches that saddle, so anybody can install those. And then the other thing I'd recommend is changing out that Dexter kit. The spring clips, see these little clips here, those little bands? That's supposed to be all the way back in there, and that's made to prevent the springs from fanning out when you're turning tight. And so this one slipped down and it's coming loose as well. Again, we've got frame cracks on this, and again, this is a 303 RLS, and it looks like it just came in today, because today is December 28th, and my guys are real good about, he had a capture plate on there, so capture plate must be installed, right? So we removed that in order to move it around the yard. What do we got going on here? We got some kind of buckle here too. Let's come back and check out that. But again, it's here for a wheel bearing pack, and again, I don't know if it's needing brakes. I didn't totally look at that. But let's see if we can see, those guys look pretty dry to me. So I'm glad you're here doing some service work. And then sure enough, there's another crack. Of course, we got to take off all the paint so you can see it further. There's another crack. You can see it. And looks like they wiped it down back there. I haven't moved that far over, but I imagine there's another crack over there too. So, besides these are fantastic to have, this is basically a bump stop. So when it's bottoming out or it's going too hard, this will bump and stop it. That might have been why those aren't cracked right now, because typically, what we see is these can only pivot so much, like a teeter-totter, and it'll hit so hard that it'll just fillet those open. And then when it does that again, you know, I know I'm reiterating, it spins that open, that shears off, and all this crap just drops right down to the ground. So when you're coming in and we're doing a wheel bearing pack, you know, we need to have the rim. Imagine the tires in here. You can't get in here and see very well. You take the tires off, get in here. You know, the only way you can see if the brakes are bad, or if the bearings are bad, or if the drums are bad, and all that stuff is to do a wheel bearing pack. And I believe these are probably going to be the original brakes on whatever year this is, because there's the old sticker, and it's a Lippert axle. It says made in the USA, probably assembled. But I'm glad to see that you got the bug screens on the furnace and the water heater. They make an actual different one that goes in there that slips in, so you don't have this big old boxy piece on there. And you need to get them on the refrigerator vent as well. Let's see what year this bad boy is. This is a 12 of 2022, so it's, or excuse me, 12 of 2020. So it's going to be a 2021. So this probably is going to fall underneath that new customer satisfaction program. And I believe that's the same model number. Now we keep seeing, oh shoot, there it is. Not only do we keep seeing the frame cracks, and again, this is not, Grand Design didn't cause those frame cracks. You know, is it bad metal? Is it, you know, turning too hard and tight? Did you go off the side of a road? Did it something flex that I-beam, whether it was a sharp turn or going off the side of a road or something like that, something caused that I-beam to break. And so they're stepping up and taking care of them. But now here's another issue, and we've come across, I don't know how many of them. You see this indentation in this metal? So go look at all our other posts and videos and articles, and you'll see all that stuff on that. When you see this indentation, two things have happened. Either the rear wall that sets on the floor line, the metal aluminum at the bottom has broke, and now the floor is moving and shoving the wall. Or if it's really, really sharp, like this one's starting to get, the back wall, the screws have broke loose, and the back wall is shifting and sliding. You know, some of the tattletales would be like putties pulling out, the molding separating. It won't do it up high, but it's all from like right around this level on down. So, you know, that's another one of the things that we're looking for when the units come in, you know, when they're out here and when we have enough time and we're doing our exterior evals and the guys are doing them. Of course, I'm a little bit more thorough in it, but we're looking for, you know, sealant missing. We're looking for bug screens. We're looking for fender issues. We're looking for J-metal issues. You know, so go back and watch some of our earlier videos. You'll see where we're walking around doing inspections on the coach, things that we're recommending, like, hey, Dustin, if it was yours, what would you do? You know, I would change that out. I would put bug screens in those. I would get rid of that center equalizer as garbage. I would get you some pads on your landing legs feet. I would get a JT Strong Arm kit that does the X in the front, that also does the, you know, this way. That's going to stabilize the side to side and front to back movement. I don't know what caused that bubble. You know, it could have just be a glue failure. Water could be getting in there. You know, the sealant here looks fairly new. So maybe it was water that got in there. No, we just did a video on a Solitude, and I was showing how the sealants and stuff were letting loose up here. So if you can see that, the screws are broken loose and water was getting up in here. And this one's got a drain hole. So if you'd seen the video a while back I just did, and other videos I talk about opening these up and making them a little bit bigger to let the water that gets in there get out. Keep an eye on all your sealants because they're starting to shrink, dry, and crack. You know, so when these seams separate, and you can see right here, I'm going to zoom in close. See if I can get it to focus. No, not quite. But I'm looking at it, and I can see the little tattletale line all the way down where the sealant let loose, and it's, you know, it's not watertight now. So, and then, oh yeah, same thing up here. So you can see, you see how that let loose, and you see how it's pulling on the decal, and then it let loose all there. So water is going to get back in there when it's condensating, raining, or you're washing it, and it's going to travel through there and rust all your screws. It's going to get in here, it's going to shoot across and rust all your screws. It's going to get in here, it's going to rust all these screws or cause some kind of delam or separation. that screw's backing out, so that needs to be tightened up, you know, but at least it's got the screws in the S-lock. So, but, you know, stay tuned for more. I'm just out here walking around. It's the end of the day. I'm waiting on the wife to saddle up and finish. She said, give me some more time. I'm not done yet. All right, babe, I'm going to go out and do my thing. So if you see this, honey, I love you. And anyways, this one's all set up for slide out toppers. So, you know, when you get, you know, time, or if you're able to afford it, oh gosh, put some slide out toppers on there. You can do black or white. It's already got the rail, so it makes it nice and easy to install. We can put one on this one. It'll reduce the interior temperature for whatever's up there. Protect, again, all your seams, sealants, roof material. I just was in that other coach and showing you all the debris that was on the ground and all the stuff that was doing to the roof and so on. Same thing with this one. You can add another one to that one too. That'll totally reduce the temperature inside and then protect all the different surfaces. And so let's do that. Let's walk around this side, see if we notice anything. I'm not scoping it all out totally like in inspection mode, but I'm just doing a brief look. This one, unfortunately, even though there's the rail up there that's pre-set up, you can't put a slide out topper in there. You can try to manipulate it and put one in. If the awning itself was down lower, we could put one on. But the problem we run into is the mounting holes, and there's no support in the walls to actually secure that awning to drop it down. Then if we did that, either the material's at a sharp pitch, or it's in the way of the brackets, or the awnings itself have to be brought down, and then there's no support in the walls. So it you know, I've seen people that have tried to do it, and they've came in and we've had to take them off and fiberglass and fill all the holes, put the awning back up, because they just thought, you know, hey, I'm gonna scoot it down. A lot of it depends on if this window, if they've got room in between this window to come down or not, and they don't have that much room. But if there's no backing in the walls, there's only a few screws back behind there anyways, they'll drop it down and then think, hey, it's good. And then they go out and use it and it catches some wind and it just rips the whole thing completely off the wall. So if you're seeing this video and you're gonna attempt to do that, my advice is don't do it. It's good enough, leave it alone. That's my uncle always tells me, it's good enough, Dustin, right? Because I'm always picking stuff apart. Oh, that's the last name on the window. Beautiful sticker. I would take that window out, John, because that's the name on the sticker, and get you the Lippert door windows, and the glass is the same color as that glass. You can still put that sticker on. You can see out, maybe change it to white. You can see out. They can't really see in that well like these, and then it comes with the built-in shade. You know, that'll make a big difference, you know, especially if somebody comes up to the door or whatever. But, you know, we do these videos for a bunch of different reasons. You know, let you kind of see what's going on. Like now he knows, you know, hey, he brought it in today. We started on it today. It's up in the air. And we also got to do the frame cracks too now. And I don't know if he's aware of that or not, but we will make him aware when we call Grand Design. And at least what's nice on this one is it's already got the V-braces in it. So depending on how high those are, we're either going to do that rail across, or we're going to do the welding patches, and then we'll do the rails underneath the bottom. But that requires a lot more stuff to be done to it, you know. So, all right. Well, hey, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, and you have a great day. I hope you're enjoying these videos. Again, they're not rehearsed. They're just off the cuff. I don't get paid by anybody for them. It's just we have a lot of Grand Design units in here because there's 3 different dealers near us, and they sell a lot of them. And, you know, still is one of the #1 travel trailers and fifth wheels out on the market. I like them a lot. I don't have any issues with them. There was some old stuff in the past, and we've made amends for that. And, you know, let's get you back on the road, traveling safe and having fun. And as you can see, you know, I'll keep yattling on for a second. You know, that was a reflection. There's a Solitude inside. There's another reflection here, and I've talked about all the paint problems on those. There's another older reflection over there. There's an Imagine here. There's another 2 Imagines over there. There was another one this morning. Oh, there might even be 5 here right now. There's another older reflection. There's a Solitude that we just did some work on. We actually did a couple little freebies for him too, take care of some things that were going on inside. And then he bought a Gen Y hitch. And this one was one featured in a video where the roof blew apart. So and then he had to fight with the insurance to get it covered. And then also this one too, I think we're doing maybe a new pin box on that one. I don't remember. One of these reflections is getting a new pin box, doing a Gen Y. And so, and again, we just installed a new Gen Y on this one. But here's another solitude, another reflection, another solitude. I think there's another one or two down that way. But so, all right, well, hey, thanks so much for watching. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you join our groups. Make sure you share with us. You know, share some videos, share some pictures, share some pictures of you traveling, where you're going, where you like to stay, any products that you're using, stuff like that, so that we know what's, you know, what you guys like as well. And sometimes we'll buy products, try them, or I'll ask somebody to send me one for free and I'll try it. And if I like it, I throw it in the store for sale. So, all right, well, hey, you guys have a great evening and we'll talk to you soon. This is Dustin, your RV specialist.